This recipe is called Crockpot Ravioli Lasagna, and it was super simple. I just took a pound of breakfast sausage and I cooked that up into my skillet until it was done, and then I drained it. And then once I did that, I took one jar, it's 24 ounces of pasta sauce, and I poured that into my meat. Once I did that, I took a rubber spatula and I scraped the jar out to make sure I got every bit of that sauce out of there. And then I did add just a little bit of extra seasoning. This is optional, you don't have to do this, but I added some oregano leaves. I just sprinkled it on there, I didn't measure it. And I also did a little bit of Kinder's garlic Parmesan seasoning. I didn't measure that as well, I just done a sprinkling of it. And it does have salt in it, so keep that in mind if you use it. And then once I got that all stirred up and mixed in, I went over to my crock pot and I started spraying it really good with some nonstick spray just to make sure that nothing sticks and burns on the sides. Once I finished spraying my crock pot, I went ahead and took a ladle full of my sauce and meat and I just poured that over the bottom of my crock pot. I just want to get a good even layer across the bottom of this. And then once we get that put in there, we're just going to kind of spread it out a little bit. And then we're going to start layering our cheese ravioli. I got the frozen kind. I did not thaw these out. They're still frozen. And you will just need a 25-ounce bag of this. And then I'm going to start layering this over top of my meat and sauce. And once we get our first layer over top of this, we're going to go ahead and go back in with some more of our sauce and meat. And we are just going to completely cover these raviolis with this. And then we're going to go in with our next layer of our raviolis again, and we're just going to dump those in there and spread them out. You know, they are frozen and they're kind of stuck together, some of them, but that's fine. They'll cook fine like that. And then we're just going to go back over it again with our meat sauce mixture. I did 2 layers of this, and this didn't really give us leftovers, so if you're looking for leftovers, you might want to get a bigger bag. But I took some Italian style shredded cheese. I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle this over the top of my ravioli lasagna. And also, you can use Parmesan, mozzarella, whatever you want. I also did use mozzarella. And I just covered the top of this. I didn't measure how much cheese I used, but I'd say roughly about a cup maybe. But this Italian style cheese that I used a minute ago is so good. I love it. And then I just went ahead and covered that up. I let this cook on high for about maybe 2.5, 3 hours. And then once that was done, you could tell because all the cheese was melted in the top and, you know, the sides were kind of pulling away from the edge of the crock pot. And that was it. This was delicious. It was so simple.